Hello, Tom Frezza here from the Naval History and Heritage Command, and today we are again going to be cooking with history with a recipe out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy. And the recipe we'll be focusing on today is for soft sugar cookies. Now within this cookbook there is actually a sample menu for the different seasons, and for dinner and supper, with basically every dinner and supper there is a dessert option that is offered. And one of the easiest dessert options to whip up within the galley was sugar cookies. And there's actually several variations of sugar cookies within this cookbook, but we're actually going to be focusing on the soft sugar cookie recipe. And the cooks within the galleys could churn out a lot of these. They had the large industrial size ovens that could pump out a lot of these cookies. Now the recipe itself, we've actually scaled it down because the original yield was 18 pounds of the mix, and the portion was 2 cookies per sailor. So the recipe calls for 100 portions, so about 200 cookies. So if you want to make 200 cookies, we're going to tell you what the original amount was, but also if you want to scale it down, we have a scaled down version for you to try out at home. So we're going to go through the ingredients, and of course the first ingredient is flour. Originally 1.5 gallons. We'll be using 2.5 cups. Next is baking powder. Originally 5 tablespoons. We'll be using 1.5 teaspoons. Next is salt. Originally 2 tablespoons. We'll be using 1/2 teaspoon. Next is nutmeg. Originally 7 tablespoons. We'll be using 2 teaspoons. Next is shortening. Originally 1.5 quarts. We'll be using 1/2 cup and 1 tablespoon. Next is sugar. Important for sugar cookies. Originally 2 1/4 quarts. We'll be using 1 cup. Next is eggs whole. Originally 12. We'll be using 1 to 2 eggs. Next is vanilla. Originally 2 tablespoons. We'll be using 1/2 teaspoon and 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then finally milk. Originally 1 3/8 quarts. We'll be using 1/2 cup and 1/4 of a tablespoon. Now the makeup is as follows. Scale the ingredients into the mixing bowl. Mix at medium speed to a smooth dough. Drop dough on greased baking sheets. Now for baking, bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. Remove the cookies while warm from the pan. And then let them cool down and enjoy. So, it seems fairly simple. Hopefully it tastes good. So we're going to get into this recipe and see how it turns out. Alright, well our first batch of cookies is out of the oven. They've cooled down. We have more in the oven going right now. But all that's really left to do now is give it a try. So we'll see how it is. We have our cookie here. It smells like a sugar cookie, so let's give it a try. And it tastes like a sugar cookie, though I'd probably reduce a little bit more the nutmeg that's in there, because nutmeg can sometimes be a very strong spice, and I think in the future I would reduce that down. Either that, or instead of nutmeg, do cinnamon. So there's a lot of possibilities that you could do with this, but the historic recipe calls for nutmeg, so that's what we did. And all in all, it's not bad. It lives up to its name. It is a very soft sugar cookie. And if you're looking for a historic recipe to try, you know, this could be a pretty fun one. So it's another pretty good recipe out of the 1945 edition of the Cookbook of the United States Navy. If you'd like more information, please visit the website of the Naval History and Heritage Command, history.navy.mil. We'll see you at our next cooking video.